Hello boys, as you know, our main map is going to be train. I'm sitting here recording this now, Sunday evening, and so I want y'all to learn this by next Friday, and by that I don't just mean watch the video, I mean that you just go into a game and practice all these smokes, so you know them, and all these Molotovs and flashes. So that when we play train next week, we can execute this in a good way. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a take, a take with a smoke wall of 4 smokes. It's quite a simple take. So we're gonna have 4 people throwing smokes, and then the 5th one's either gonna be holding the push or pushing behind through Ivy, or maybe going pop as well. So the first smoke is gonna be from this corner right here. Let's see, right from this corner of the shadow, and you're gonna aim up right there on this box. Right, it's like a T. You're gonna aim right top in the middle, and you throw that, and that is gonna land. Oh shit, my computer's fucking up. That's gonna land right side bomb train. Okay. Smoke number 2 is for the left side bomb train. You're gonna aim at this little notch here. You're gonna aim right about there. You're gonna throw it. There's a little notch here at this box. You're gonna throw it just there. That's gonna land left side bomb train. Then we have a smoke for Olaf. Come to this corner here. Aim at this box and just up a little bit and throw. That's gonna land in Olaf. Like that. And then the last smoke, this is probably the easiest one. Aim at the edge of this wall, just there. You're gonna just aim a bit in from this corner, right there, and throw. That's gonna land between red and green train. And so I think that there are other smokes, like a smoke of sandwich as well. But I think it's more important for us to take control over the entire blue train. And we can peek out because we have the smoke from Olaf here. And then we can take control like this. So all the smokes at the same time. There's going to be one right here. There's going to be one right here. One right here. And one right there. And these all fall together look like this. So it's going to be sort of a wall of smokes. And as you can see, there's like a pathway right here. And we can get an easy bomb plant. And then get into our after plants. And so, I have a few examples for after plants, right, on A site. So if we plant the bomb here, which is going to be the most logical if we are going to do that wall of smokes. A good after plant is, of course, Pop Dog. Then we can play 2 players in Pop, one holding behind on the ladder, and one holding like this, and peeking out if needed. Depending on how many people are alive, we could have one person playing red train, holding the flank, or the push from 1. We could have a person playing A main, but then you'd have to peek a wider angle to see the bomb. You can have a person E-box, although I think that's very exploitable. You can do it in certain situations, it's good, but I don't think for the most part it's a good after plant position. Because it's extremely exploitable. A Molotov or a nade will basically get you instantly killed if you play against like a pretty good team. And so in combination with those 4 smokes as well, if we move away from the after plants, because the after plants are hard to just describe like this in a video, because it depends on where we plant the bomb. But some good ones are Pop Dog, Main, Bind Red Train, Sandwich-ish, Olaf. Olaf has a long way to go to the bomb. maybe not as good. Hello there, Combine from editing here. So basically, a good rule of thumb for after plants, because I was a bit unclear about it, is that you want to get the CTs into positions where they have the peak choke points, where you can have it quite set up to be favorable for you, instead of having to peak angles where there's a lot of places where the CTs can be, set up choke points. Also set up places where you can easily peak them if they try to defuse the bomb. That's a good rule of thumb, not dependent on what map you play on. Now back to the old CS Combine. But if we move away from that, the Molotovs that we can throw is just normal one, sandwich, nothing special. If we blow out the windows, or shoot out the windows, we can smoke into heaven, and force a player in heaven out. And so that's gonna be essentially our basic A take. And most teams think that an A take is something that you set up in the start of the round and you just do it. That's not how we want to think about it. We want to think about it like we try to get map control, and in the end of the round, 30 seconds left, we're gonna go for execute, right? So that's why it's so important to have good defaults. And defaults, if you don't know, are positions that you hold and push to try and get more map control, sort of like you hold a default on a CT side, but it's on the T side. And so you can use utility and different smaller executes to get map control, and they usually execute towards the site later on in the round. And so that's essentially what we're gonna be focusing the most on. Then if we just want to get a quick bomb plant, a good strategy, which I will be running, is that we have 4 people just throwing the wall of smokes. This is after a gun round, so they've already seen the wall of smokes before. They're gonna hopefully rotate everybody over. Then we're gonna have one person sneaking to upper B with a deagle and trying to get the bomb plant. And probably we could get 1 kill on A site, and if the person on B gets a good after plant, he could also challenge a bit. But that's just a strat to get a bomb plant down. We lose $300 each and gain 800, so it's quite a good investment. Okay, so that's the A side of things. Now we're gonna move over to B. This is quite simple, not much to see. There are a few things that I won't be going over now, because I'm going to be mainly focusing on A, Pop Dog and Ivy in this video. And then I think that next week we're going to take the B side of things more, and dig deeper into Ivy and the Pop Dog, and possibly some on A as well. So basically, few things that you need to know when you're pushing B. Guy connector can so easily pick you off if you don't throw this smoke. Doesn't have to be that deep. Can also be thrown so it lands right about there. Depends on how you want it. You can also throw a pop flash if you get up in this corner and aim right there. That's not what I meant to do, I'm sorry. Let's see if I remember this. I think it was like that. Yep. Pop flash. If you stand on the other side and throw it towards, I think it was that corner, might have been this one. You can pop off anybody holding this corner. Okay, when we push towards upper, we should always be careful of people trying to push up. I think that especially in the lower tier teams, it's a thing you like to do quite often to get intel, and in high tier teams as well, but then it's usually done with a bit more finesse, and you think before you do it more. If we're playing as a lower tier team, it could easily be that they just peek it without thinking further about it at all. When we peek upper, if you have to read this into an opponent, if they usually stand at headshot with an AWP, you of course should smoke it off, like that. If they don't do it, it's not necessary, don't waste the smoke. And that's why you want to mix up your CT sides as well, because especially if you're playing against better opponents that knows how to read you, it's gonna be really easy for them if you play the same thing every round to read you and then counter you. By example, for throwing throwing that smoke, for example. So you want to really mix up your playstyle a bit. One round you can play a headshot, one round you can play bomb train, just so they never know where you're standing. Another example is on Inferno. If you boost flowers every round, of course they're gonna clear out flowers every round, but you can also use that to your advantage. For example, if you boost flowers 1 or 2 rounds, they will have to check flowers every round. But you don't have to stun flowers every round. Of course, you shouldn't do that. And so that will give you an advantage as a CT when you hold the site, because they will have to check flowers all the time. So that's something to think about as well. Mix up your positions, play one position a few times, so they have to check it every time, and that gives you a slight edge as well. Now, as I said, we'll be going over B site more at a later stage. Okay. So, next thing we're gonna go over is, let me see here, is a bit of an interesting strat. And so, this one, I'm gonna do a bit differently. I'm gonna do it from each player's perspective, right? So this is gonna be a play 1, a play 2, a play 3, a play 4, and a play 5, okay? So, I'm just gonna cut to that right about now. Player 1 is gonna start by run boosting player 2 and player 3 over. Don't have anyone else on the server with me right now, so I can't show it. But player 2 and player 3 are basically gonna be run boosted over to the other side. Player 2 is gonna set up this this Molotov, and he's gonna run and throw that, and you aim at the bottom of this little yellow spot, the bottom left of this little yellow spot. Then you run, and we hit the ceiling tile. You throw. That's gonna molly off Cubby and molly off anybody standing in that fucking corner right there. And that corner is really annoying, let me tell you. At the same time as that happens, at the exact same time as the molly is thrown, player 4 is together with player 5 in Pop Dog, and player 4 is going to throw a smoke. This smoke, aim at the floor, at the tile here, a little bit to the left, and throw. That's gonna land right there, blocking off any CT vision. So the Molotov for Cubby and that smoke coming at the same time. When you've mollied off Cubby and smoked it off, player 2 threw the smoke before, so now player 3 is gonna line up this flash. You're gonna aim at the center of this heart. You're gonna aim at the top, at this line, between these 2 notches. You're gonna left and then hold down right click. And throw. That's gonna perfectly pop flash anybody at Cubby. And that's also gonna perfectly pop flash anybody holding this very powerful AWP angle right here. Okay? Next thing, player 1 is at the same time as player 3 throws that flashbang. Player 1 is going to throw a Molotov. So, player 1 is going to stand at these stairs. He's going to push up, stand at these stairs. He's going to walk forward till he sees this red sticker, and he's going to aim and just regular left click throw. And that's going to molly it off. That, combined with the pop flash, like that, will get people stuck in the Molotov, which is exactly what we want. And this happens while player 2, who was the person to throw the first Molotov into Cubby, he sneaks up after the pop flash and the molly, and he peeks and tries to kill them. Now, one thing I forgot to mention was that when player 2 throws the Molotov at Cubby, The reason why player 3 is run boosted over as well is because he and player 1 are gonna peek at the same time, causing the player who's possibly standing in cubby to get completely caught out and definitely killed. And so there's gonna be a smoke from Pop Dog landing right side at the same time as we have a smoking copy. Then player 1 and player 3 are gonna peek at the same time. Player 3 is going to run up till he sees that sticker. He's gonna throw that, and player 1 is gonna throw a pop flash in. That pop flash from the heart back there. Player 2 is gonna peek, kill off any players, and then they're all gonna run down, all 3 of them. Then 2 of the players, doesn't matter who, will throw 2 smokes, and voila, they are in CT spawn. Now, 1 guy is gonna push from behind up to headshot. 2 guys are gonna push from CT start up to the connector position and B plat. So that is it for the pop. Now we're gonna move over to the that for Ivy. Sorry. Now we're gonna move over to Pop Dog. So in Pop Dog, we're gonna first have the player throw in a smoke. That's gonna be player 4 throwing the smoke. After that smoke is thrown, we're gonna have the same player lining up a Molotov, and this one is really, really, really tricky. So you're gonna aim at this intersection of the floor tiles, stay crouched, and you can see at this window there's a small dark spot. You're gonna aim just to the left of it, and a bit down, and throw. And that's gonna Molotov off in back Pop Dog, right? At the same time as player 4 throws that Molotov, player 5 is going to throw a Molotov, and this is the only thing he'll do. He's going to throw another Molotov down like that. This in combination with player 4's Molotov, maybe you can't hear me right there, this in combination with player 4's Molotov will give Pop Dog a complete cover of burn, basically, which means that nobody can stand in there. So, player 4's full routine, as I like to call it, is stands, throws smoke, checks, is the teammate ready to throw the other one? Yes, stays crouched, aims, does his Molotov. At the same time, player 5 throws his Molotov. And as you can see, we've completely modded off Pop Dog. Now, player 4 does another thing. Just after player, just after both the Molotovs had disappeared, player 4 is going to throw a pop flash. And so this pop flash, you're going to aim at this crack in the tile, and you're going to stay crouched, and you're going to look for this intersection with the 2 white lines. You're going to right click throw. And that is as close to a perfect pop flash as you can get. At the same time, player 5 is standing here ready to peek down, and then you're gonna fall down and catch anybody unsuspecting totally off guard. Okay? That's what's going on at pop at the same time as the Ivy execute's going on. So we're gonna take pop control and Ivy control at the same time. Now, what are the players at pop gonna do? Player 4, the person who didn't drop down, because we're only gonna have 1 player dropping down to take control of a Pop Dog. Player 4 is gonna push all the way to upper, and at the same time as the 3 people from Ivy are gonna push into B side from behind, he's gonna push upper, and this will ensure that we have 3 points of attack into the very open B side. Now, player 5, who is down inside a Pop Dog, is gonna fall back from Pop Dog, and he's gonna hold the flank like this. Okay, he's gonna hold the flank from A main, because there's probably gonna be a CT come from behind. Right, okay, so that's the very complicated execute. I hope I explained it okay. I will go through it in more detail in the practice that we'll have in the next weekend. So watch it through a couple times. I know it's kind of tricky. I think you'll get the hang of it. And now I am just going to show you a few other things that can be useful. Okay, so another few useful things. One is the Molotov that you throw at Ivy. You can throw the exact same Molotov. Oh, the exact same smoke. So the one where you line it up at the bottom here, and then run, and throw where you hit the tile. Instead of landing at Cubby, that is going to land at left side Ivy, if you want to push up and take a site. Another useful thing is gonna be the pop flash towards right side. So you're gonna aim at the exact same place as we did before with the pop flash to left side. It's gonna be for right side. So you're gonna do you're gonna aim at the same place. You're gonna drag down. So you're between this line and the top of this arrow. You're gonna drag down. So you're right there, about. Then you're gonna just left click throw, regular left click throw. And that is probably gonna catch most unsuspecting CT standing on this side and on this side off guard if they've pushed up enough. So if they're standing right here, it's not gonna work. People who are standing right here will definitely get flashed, and people are standing right here holding this angle, okay? So that's in combination with the left side Ivy smoke. Perfect. Oh, important. This is going to be what you need to learn until we have a practice next time. Right, so I want everybody to learn all the smokes, everything I taught in this video. On top of that, I want, and I sort of need everybody to play 1-2 games on Train. Could be matchmaking, face it, anything, any service you'd like to use. Play a few games on Train, get the hang of the map. Contact me about a position that you like to play. Try and play that position, get a bit comfortable with map. Get a bit comfortable with how you'd think it plays out when you play as a team. Experiment, do some stuff, but most importantly, learn the smokes. Play a few games on it, at least one game, and if you only play one, you're gonna have to be damn focused on thinking about different things you're doing in that game. And last thing, you're gonna try to learn, and this is not related to the rest of the things I've taught in this video, you're gonna try and get rid of the crouch spraying obsession. And I do this all the time. Most people do it. I don't know if you do it, but get rid of it. So basically, crouching is used to reduce your recoil and get better accuracy. That's true. But when you crouch, you also lock yourself in a position. And if you watch a pro game, you'll see that most pro players, they don't commit to a fight fully. They try to peek out into angles, throw a short burst of bullets, and then fall back. If you crouch out and commit to a fight, and you reckon that it's not going that well, you're fucked, right? So if you're close range spraying, sure, sometimes go for the crouch. Sometimes it's better to start the recoil pattern, and then when you crouch, it decreases. So most pro players use it to decrease the recoil as well, that they have to compensate for. Now another thing, think about when you're crouching, is that yes, you are making yourself a smaller target. That is true. But at the same time, you are, as I said, locking yourself into a position. Maybe you are getting into a position that you don't want to, and for me at least, it's been a problem to compensate for your crosshair placement. You have good crosshair placement. Where you crouch, you can't compensate it for it quickly enough, because crouching is just like a reflex thing you do. And then your crosshair can't compensate for it, and you don't really aim at the head, right? So that's one thing I want to think about. Go into free-for-all, headshot, possibly, and play free-for-all at least half an hour. Half an hour is not that much. It'll be over that quickly. Play half an hour of deathmatch with your control key unbinded, so you can't crouch, right? And I think you'll get rid of that need to crouch at all times, right? So learn these smokes, play a game or more than one game on train, and play half an hour with control unbinded. Okay? That's all. See you next week, or yeah, I guess next week because it's Sunday evening. So I'll see you in the next weekend. That's all for me. See you.